What's up guys, I'm the East Coaster fan and I'm here at Dorney Park, but it is March. Wait, why am I here? This place is supposed to open later than most parks. Why am I here at Dorney Park? Well, it's because they're doing a charity event called Winter Chill-Out. That might be a name you recognize at Cedar Point since they've been doing it for years now. But this is actually the second annual Dorney Park Winter Chill-Out. I actually wanted to go to the one last year, but it conflicted with Great Adventures opening day, and I ultimately chose that instead. But it was something that I did want to attend, and this year I'm able to do it. Inside, we're gonna get a guided tour by Ryan, who's the PR chair of Dorney Park, and see some of the behind-the-scenes things that are happening during the off-season. Because this is a charity event, the admission that I paid today to get into this, 100% of it is going towards the Lehigh Valley Children's Hospital. So it's for a good cause. Even though it's winter chill out, it's actually not too bad. In fact, I don't even need this coat. Oh. I may have made something fun. So yeah, this is the first of probably a few videos you're gonna see me in this thing. I made this for fun. This is not for sale. I was just like, I want my logo on a sweatshirt so I can wear it to parks. So here we go. I'm gonna test it out at Winter Chill-Out for the first time. You can see here that we have to check in now. This is actually the second group of the day. The first one was earlier around 9, which that was too early for me. But it seems they're ending now and we're about to start. Hello, Michael.
I saw on your story, I'm like, I bet it's a shirt with his logo on it.
At least we got a cool lanyard and we're both part of the same group, the Talon group. It seems that they're gonna be letting us in soon and there's this really cool Winter Chill-Out sign once we get in, so I'll have to show that off. So yeah, we're inside, there's Snoopy taking pictures with people, and then there's the PR people. We got Ryan and Marshall up there. They're kind of doing double duty now with Six Flags with both Dorney Park and Great Adventure, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of them. Alright, so let's get started with Winter Chill-Out 2025. Even Snoopy's ready to join us.
So if you want to follow me, we're going to make our way back here to the stage, and we'll get Winter Chill-Out started.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. I know it's not the best weather, but it is March in Pennsylvania, so I guess this was to be expected. Thank you so much for joining us for the 2025 Winter Chill-Out. If you didn't know, 100% of the ticket proceeds today go to LVHN Riley Children's Hospital. So big thank you to you. They couldn't be with us here this afternoon, but they were here this morning and they expressed their gratitude for all of you contributing to the great services they provide to children in our area, which of course is our mission, to provide better fun for a better world and specifically our area's children. So thank you for being here for this. You're gonna get a behind the scenes tour of Hydra as well as Talon. We're also gonna take you into Wild Water Kingdom today so you can see our water park enhancement project in transition. So what that means is we're actually getting started on construction of the new gift shop as well as a new bar. So you're gonna get to see us kind of working through that process. We have experts at each station that you'll get to talk to, whether it's maintenance, retail, entertainment. So you're gonna go into theater, kind of see some of the behind the scenes, some of our mascot materials, all that kind of stuff. So it's really exciting. We're also gonna feed you today, not just snacks in Whitewater Tavern, but also a Parkside Pavilion. So you're gonna get a taste of 2025. We're really excited for that. Executive Chef Allison, it has everything ready for you there. So we're really excited. But for now, thank you so much for being here. And we're gonna kickstart Winter Chill-Out. That's all I gotta say, up here.
As we're walking to our next destination, you can see the wave swinger is completely dismantled. Probably just being rebuilt, but yeah, that's pretty weird to see.
So for the first thing I want to go over is how the rides work. Now typically, Hydra and Talon, since they were both put in together, so close together, their systems are almost identical, and all their screens are almost identical with the exception of track layout. So fundamentally how they work is they have PLCs, which are called programmable logic controllers. In the era in which those two rides were made, they actually have redundant controllers, which means they have two computers running the ride. And they're that way for redundancy purposes. So one controller doesn't do everything. So for example, if it wants to open a brake, both controllers have to agree with the information that they're seeing and that it's okay for that brake to open. It's an added safety feature for it. It actually brings to the old phrase, two heads are better than one to life.
Here's an area I've definitely never been in before. There is the log flume. That is really cool. I didn't know this path was here actually. I just assumed this is all, I guess, dirt. But we're heading down this pretty steep hill, kind of the same slope as the drop of the log flume. But we're gonna go down to the Cobra Roll.
You'll see different kind of signage depending how close it is to the ride. So this is what we consider a danger zone because it comes within 8 feet of the ride safety envelope, which is basically anywhere that you can reach from the ride itself. And you do require a lockout to go inside. If you're not familiar with a lockout or tagout, any kind of heavy machinery, there needs to be a way to de-energize it. So normally when we go in here, every person who walks in will apply their lock to the ride when the power is off to enter it. However, the ride power is locked out by maintenance right now, and there are no trains on the track, so we are perfectly safe. So we're actually going to go past the lift here and then down this little walkway towards the Cobra Roll, which is in version number 4 and 5 together. You also get a good shot of the JoJo Roll, which is that slow roll right out of the station. So take all the pictures you want, just watch your step. It's probably still funny.
One of the things they just said is that the compressors for Dominator are right there, which is really far from the actual ride itself. But I guess that's just because that's the only space they had available. And he also said it makes it a little bit quieter. You could also see way in the distance that the work's being done to Dominator's vehicles. So there's work going on obviously throughout the whole park, including the tilt wall right here, which is covered for winter. That's a cool one though, a stripped apart Music Express. So you can see the mechanisms that make it work. I believe the next section of the tour is in Good Time Theater, but while we're going by, you can see some things that are placed within the Carousel Grove, such as ride parts, lighting. You can even see kitty helicopters over there in between the tables. Oh, they weren't kidding with some of the stuff in here. They got this effect here, as well as the Viva La Fiesta sign.
Good Time Theater. We haven't really done many shows in here as of late, ever since we started doing Grand Carnival and different special events. But the theater still gets used heavily by our team to do all of those events. We do rehearsals, we do auditions all on the stage here, so that way everything that goes out into the park looks really nice for dancing and singing. And then we also use this area as a production space to build all the things for Haunt, for all the Viva La Fiesta, for Summer Nights, for any of the events that we do. It's also a really great space to store all the things. Like right now we're storing some signs for security during the off-season. Back corner over here is one of the Aquaflame machines. It was brand new last year during Haunt at the Steel Yard. Those were behind the Iron Menace sign. If you saw it ever looked like he was on fire, that's what those things were doing. It takes 4 of those to make that effect. It's just water and lights, just a big atomizer. It's pretty cool. The next thing we have is our new marquee sign for our rebranded Summer Nights event. It's called Viva La Fiesta. We are really excited about that event this year and really hope that that helps tell the story of what we're trying to do with our Latin Festival rather than Summer Nights. That was the last year that we did that. It went pretty well. We're excited to have it back this year, but with a new name. Something else that's kind of interesting, in order to get the Peanuts characters out of Planet Snoopy into different places to see everybody that comes to the park, we need a way to get them there without having them walk. So we have 3 of these cool electric golf carts that we put body kits on to make it look like a 1950s car. And this is just one of them. And then over here, some of the examples of the different lighting that we use throughout the park to help make the park spooky or even help light things up at our shows. All these lights are IP65 rated, which means that they're meant to be outdoors and get wet, and they won't ruin because of that. We have one of our watch lights, and then we have one of our ellipsoidals that, the cool thing about an ellipsoidal is you look on the wall there, it can project patterns and pictures, and then, because all of our scare zones don't really have a lot of infrastructure to do moving lights and whatnot, where we add go-go rotators to rotate patterns in them. As you can see, that one is one of the ones from the Steel Yard, the gear shows up.
If you know the characters of Alfundo, Alfredo, and Morgan over there. These are the heads and costumes for them all. And there's a lot here. Sorry if I scar any of you with this, but this is the amazing work that's done with them.
On the shelf, you can see some of the examples of things that we have created in-house for Haunt. The only things that weren't created were the full silicone masks. We have vendors that we sent out for those things. But everything else in here has been handmade by our team, right? They're extremely talented. We also do our own sculpting, casting, molding of silicone appliances. You can see some right there. Lovely Lindsay is rotting away, and we're gonna do a little bit more of a demonstration on her.
All right, next stop is Talon. I don't know how much we're gonna see of Talon, but if it's like Hydra, I'm really excited for this.
This is the Talon Winter refurbishment shop. This is where the trains come to get taken apart and inspected and gone through. We will strip both trains down completely, take them all apart. We'll inspect all the pins, the shafts. We have a third party come in, and they will do an inspection on all the welds and all the service critical shafts and components that the manufacturer wants us to check, and they do what's called an NDT inspection, which is non-destructive testing. An example of that would be, we'll take a part, they will spray a solution over it, and they'll magnetize that part, and then they'll look at it under a black light in a dark room, and then if it were to have a crack or indication of anything on it, that would not be okay. It would show up with a highlight color, like that, or the right stripe there. And then it would obviously either be repaired if it can be, or destroyed and replaced.
So B&M requires us to do a daily visual inspection of all the track. We do that from the ground as we're doing our low area checks. We also do some of it from the lift. You can see a lot from the air, and you get a different perspective on things when you're kind of up above it. A quarterly basis, B&M requires us to inspect this track. They call it a close visual inspection 4 times a year, quarterly. One of those times, which kind of falls into the annual part, is a torque check on 5% of our fasteners. There's 8,500 bolts on this ride. And at 5%, you're looking at 450 bolts that have to be confirmed that they're torqued properly. There's a couple ways you can do this. The old school way with a giant 8-foot long torque wrench, but that kind of makes things a little tricky at 135 feet in the air. A automatic torque gun, so you can preload a torque into the base of this gun, pull the trigger, and it will torque and undo the gun on itself. Or a torque multiplier. So instead of using that 8-foot long torque wrench, we have this little guy here. It is geared down to 27 to 1. So you spin this 1 revolution, this spins 27 times. So that allows us to, instead of pulling 1,300 foot-pounds at 135 feet in the air, we can pull 30 with a 1/2-inch torque wrench. Something else that also aids us in our visual inspection, something that we are trying to implement this year, is that piece. That is our new drone. For all the tech people out there, it is a 1080p camera with a 200x zoom. We'll put that into perspective a little bit. If you write a letter B on the lift of the landing, 1 inch by 1 inch, this will pick it up.
Here's a look at the wheel assembly covers that are all wrapped up over here next to the train. And it's really cool being able to go so close to this track. One other thing I'll point out is that this building right now where the trains are being stored for Talon, this is actually the spot for Blackout, which is really surprising to me because it seems much bigger when you're inside. Then again, you lose like all your sense of direction in there. But during the main season, it's used as game storage. During Haunt, it's Blackout. I'm not sure if they just use the black cloaks to hide everything. And then, you know, during off season, it's used for Talon. So that's really cool. Also, I love this view up here. You can see everything. Last thing I'll point out there is the air gates have been installed. So they are in and they work. All right, I think we're on to our last stop now, which is actually inside Wild Water Kingdom to check on the status of the renovated slides.
So to orientate you, this is the entrance to the water park is right here, right? And so these are the two first things you walk into the water park. And this gift shop particularly, Tradelands, is our main gift shop in the water park. We have a couple carts and kiosks and places, but this is really our only store. This store, during the summer, does more money than Good Time Gifts at the front of the park. Which if you think about that, it was crazy, because you think about how much longer, right, Good Time Gifts is open, even just like hours in the day, right, how much longer they're open, but also how much bigger that store is compared to that store. If you've ever been in that store, it's not a very good shopping experience. It's an L-shaped store, which is not very guest friendly in how you navigate through, right? It's also like broken up, has 2 different cash wrap areas, so sometimes you don't know where to go to. It has a bunch of pillars throughout it, so it's not optimal. Someone earlier in the day said to me, it's like, it's a claustrophobic store. And I said, you're right. The reason why it's a claustrophobic store is because the ceiling is so low. So the ceiling is at the 8.5 foot mark. And the reason why that is, if you look here, this whole runway, this used to be the front gate of this park. So it was built, these buildings were built not to be what they were. They were the front gate of the park, it was the ticket area and all that stuff. So there's a lot of electric and network and different things that are going on in the top of that store. So we weren't able to raise the ceiling at all. So we can't do anything above 8 feet because you literally can't bring it up any higher. And then you see the back part of the store is a low point anyway. And in a typical retail area that you go in, you merchandise to the 8 foot mark, and then anything above it is display. Pictures, mannequins, different things to like guide you to where it's supposed to be. We couldn't do that here, and it was really uncomfortable, and it wasn't great. So I knew that the store could do more. So we're trying to figure out what we want to do. We could demolish the store, probably not the right thing to do. So we decided that we were going to swap these 2 buildings. So now this building is going to be the new gift shop and be Tradewinds, and that side is going to be the bar that has been existingly here. So there's some pictures about what this is going to look like, and you see some drawings of what the inside is going to be. It'll be a much more pleasant experience. It's a straight shot, right, one all the way through. We're going to go on the other side, and you guys will be able to see the construction. You can walk up to the threshold, but don't go past the threshold, but you can take any pictures that you want of what's going on in there. But it's a straight shot all the way through, 1 centralized cash wrap, which is super exciting for us, and a ton more storage. So what was hard about this store, and think about how much product is going through that store that's making almost as much money as Good Time Gifts, right? So if you look, you see these 2 brown roofs right here? The one on the left is the entire storage for that store. It is a 10 by 20 shed. That was all the storage for that entire store. The roof on the right is the storage for Dippin' Dots. It is the same size building. One is Dippin' Dots, and one is that entire store. So now the team that works here, there's a bunch of storage now in the back of this bar area, and it is twice the size of what that storage is right there, just for them. Plus they keep that shed, and then there's another storage area in the back of this shop. So they're very happy. They're like the happiest folks in the world. Michaela's on that team, and she's like, it's amazing. 1 centralized cash wrap area. There'll be digital signage behind the cash wrap. We're gonna have a big section for water shoes, because water shoes is the #1 item that we are selling. I could not tell you why. Everyone knows this is a water park. How do you not come with your water shoes? But it's the #1 seller. We are actually the highest penetration of water shoes in the entire company. Again, I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense, but this is where we're at. So there'll be a section in there, a giant section for water shoes and benches for people to be able to put on the shoes, which we've never had before. So it'll be like a way better guest experience. The other thing that's happening, we're keeping this sliding door, and we're gonna take this awning and bring it out about 7 or 8 feet. And here, we're gonna have a marketplace area. So we'll be fixturing out here for people to be able to purchase things. And if you look, see the red wall that comes out a little far here? That used to be an ATM. And so now it's like just a storage area, and it has power and data in there. We're gonna have a register there that will roll out during the day, and people can shop in this marketplace. And if they just wanted to come here and they didn't want to walk in the store, they can just go to that register and be done for the day. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for all of you. So while that's happening, the bar over here is getting done. There will be high top tables, and there will be a table line that goes through the entire bar area so that you would have places to like hang out, get cooled down, enjoy your beverage, etc. Someone in the last group asked me if you weren't allowed to bring your beverage outside of here. You absolutely can. The whole water park, you just have to keep it in the water park, but you can get a beverage in there, bring it out, go back to your seats, do whatever you want to do. So you can enjoy it in there in the air conditioning, or you can come out here as well.
As you can see, the structure is the same. We took the slide pieces down. If you look behind you, actually, you can see the blueprint of what the new slides are going to look like. And I'll talk to you a little bit about the track length. So on the right is slide A, and on the left is slide B. So the previous slide A, the track length was 466 feet, and the new length is 477 feet. For slide B, the old track length was 462 feet, and the new length is 515 feet. So both a little bit longer than the previous slides. You can also see from the diagram that there's kind of some different pieces, some different colors and patterns and things like that. So parts of the slide are enclosed and parts of them are open. We have some fiberglass pieces to kind of show you guys some of the different ones here. These ones just arrived from Turkey. So if you look at the bottom one, it's kind of more transparent as opposed to like other pieces that are more opaque. And they have some different patterns on them. So like some of them have like these circular cutouts, some of them have these dashes. They'll create kind of different like optical illusions when you're sliding through them and like bring some light in. Something that's cool and a little bit unique about these is these two circular pieces, one's like a top piece and one's a bottom piece, so there'll be transparent parts on the bottom as well, which is pretty cool. The original manufacturer for this slide was a company called Surf Coaster. They've since gone out of business, so this slide will have a different manufacturer. It's called Whitewater West, which is a company based in Canada. Something we're really excited about for these slides is previously Lightning Falls was single riders only. The new slides will be double or single riders, which we're very excited about. Yeah, so pretty soon we'll start, doing construction. We'll actually start one piece on top and one piece on the bottom, and then they'll kind of like meet together. And then just like a roller coaster, the water slides do have to be commissioned. So once it gets up, we have to do a minimum of 100 rides per slide before it can open. And we'll do different rides, with different heights, weights, different combinations of body types, things like that, before it's ready to open.
Here are all the pumps for the chemicals of Wild Water Kingdom that like go underground and go to their designated slides. This is right next to a snake pit. Well, now we're going really backstage. This is like a road path that we're walking on right now to maybe another portion of the water park. If I knew this space existed, I'd say they should expand the water park over here. I mean, we're passing houses right now too, and that looks like a good fire pit or something. Could make pizzas in there. So it looks like we're walking to the Parkside Pavilion for the last part of Winter Chill-Out, which involves a little bit of food tasting for 2025. So once we get over there, I'll showcase some of the offerings. Here are two of the new items that we're able to show off. We're actually in the kitchen right now in catering. One, they're replacing, I guess, the roast beef or roast pork thing inside of Iron Mill, and replacing it with an Italian sausage sandwich that's right here. And then this is a new dessert. It's a deep fried toasted crimpet. They're tasty cake, yes. I'm not super familiar with those being on Long Island, so that'll be a new thing for me. Well, I can confirm both things are absolutely delicious. Although, it's gonna be hard to replace my pierogies at Iron Mill. So that's the end of Winter Chill-Out. Overall, had a really great time, and it was great supporting charity as well, but also got to see many backstage projects that you wouldn't typically have been able to see. This was both of our first Winter Chill-Outs. So what did you think of the whole thing?
I really enjoyed it. Definitely a really unique experience getting to see some behind the scenes areas, especially all at once. Normally like during Ace events, maybe you'll see like, just Hydra or just Talon or just the makeup. But here we got to see it all in only a few hours, so.
It truly is everything, everywhere, all at once, yes. Yeah, I had a great time. I think my favorite part might have been just Talon, just because we're elevated, super close to the track, and could be there for a really long time. Although being by Hydra and in that whole backstage area was pretty cool as well. Plus the food, that was very tasty. I'll be back here at Dorney once the season eventually kicks off in a few months. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I think I'm tired, so I'm gonna head home now.